if you look at the traditional Western medicine system, everybody works in silos. You've got a doctor for this, you've got a doctor for that, you've got a doctor for this. But really, our body is so intelligent that when you are undergoing severe stress, well, that's going to affect that pituitary function, which might affect your thyroid function. So, yes, so you go to the doctor, they check your TSH, which is actually a hormone that's not even your thyroid hormone. But what you need to do is check TSH, your free T3, which is the free, unbound thyroid hormone that's actually doing what it needs to do in the body, free T4, which is like having the supplies to make the T3. So naturally, our thyroid, about 80% of our thyroid is T4 that's made from the thyroid. But you need to test what is your body actually, what is free and unbound and usable by the body. So TSH, free T3, free T4, and then there's antibodies. Antibodies would be dependent on what are your symptoms, because there are different antibodies that are tested and it gets a little bit more complicated, and it really depends on your symptoms. Are your symptoms more of hyper or hypothyroidism? And we didn't really get into that, but they're on opposite ends of the spectrum. So if you think of, and I've been on both, oh God, I've been on both, Whitney. I've had TSH of 32 where I felt like, my face was this big. I had severe edema. I couldn't get out of bed. I was so cold.
And is that
I
hypo or
still
hyper?
remember one time. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Is that hypo or hyper when you have those
Hypo.
symptoms? Hypo.
Hypo. So you gain weight. Think of everything as slowing down. It's like your body's in like preserve mode and all functions slow down. Everything from your metabolism to even, instead of having anxiety, you would probably have depression. I still remember there was a time my daughter was young at the time, and I'd be like, honey, can you just put more blankets on me? And she would just keep piling blankets on me. And you can't get warm. It's a horrible feeling. But then hyper is a very scary feeling. It's that anxiousness, the jittery, you're not sleeping. And it's interesting because you could be eating, but more out of anxious feelings. So it's like you keep eating to try and feel some sort of comfort. That's the other end of the spectrum. I was there for like 5 years, Whitney, because after I had cancer, at that time, they said, we need to suppress your TSH, which means a virtually undetectable TSH, so zero. So you have a spectrum on your TSH. TSH is still important, but that spectrum is a little bit wide in that I think it's something like, it depends on where you are. In the US, I think it's around zero point 0.5 to 4.5 or 5.0 in blood work. And you can feel like absolute crap if you hit a 3. And many doctors will not even further test you if you're in that range. So you can never see if you even have antibodies, or if maybe there's something off with the conversion of that T4 to T3, because there's other measurements that come in. It gets so complicated. The thyroid's super complicated.